Skullsandbones.com. I'm Metal Mark here with the man, the myth, the legend, Devin Townsend.
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm great.
I saw on Twitter you're a little hungover, even though you didn't get wasted. How does that happen?
I think I just didn't drink enough water yesterday, so I haven't had a drink in many years. So I woke up a little bummed out this morning to find out that I felt hungover because, that was always the worst part about drinking, in all honesty. No, I'm good, man. It's a hot day. It's a humid day in Atlanta, and it's been a lot of shows in a row, so I think I just need to dramatically increase my water intake, and I'll be good.
Well, speaking of the tour, I saw some earlier interviews where you were kind of skeptical of this to be a really good deal for you with the music compared to all the other bands, or if it would be a bad tour.
Yeah.
Since it's halfway over, how do you feel about it now?
I think it's actually really good. I mean, in the beginning, as it is with almost every tour we do, I tend to feel unsure about how the music is going to go over because what I do is pretty left to center for the most part. Yeah. But then after the first show, I realized, I'm like, well, you're here, and the people that want to see you don't want to see you not being who you are, right? So I just reverted back after about 2 shows to just doing exactly what I do at every other show, and it seems to be going over actually pretty well. And I think that because it is a little different than the other bands, it gets attention from some people that maybe had not been aware of it or had written it off or whatever. So I think it's a good thing.
Very cool. Well, you're obviously supporting Deconstruction and Ghost right now, which are out right now. Talking about Deconstruction with the guest appearances, I mean, the list goes on of all the metal icons you had.
Sure.
But was there anybody you asked or wanted to have on the record that you couldn't get or wasn't able to help out?
There's a lot of people that I would have liked to have had, but I mean, I think the biggest thing with the guest appearances on Deconstruction is I never really wanted to make that big a deal out of it, right? It's just I was trying to make an album that was kind of theatrical, I guess, and as such, there's like a lot of character voices, and I found when I did it myself, it just ended up being sort of one-dimensional. So a lot of the people that I asked to be involved with it, more so than being something I was trying to do to get attention for the record, they're just either friends of mine or people I've known for quite a while, and it seemed to make sense, right? Yeah. But whenever people are asking me about them, I try and sort of steer clear of talking about people specifically or the experiences or whoever. But ultimately, Deconstruction is a record that is a big piece of work. I think between like the orchestra and the choir and several drummers and the mixing engineer and the guests, and so ultimately each one of these things become just like an element of what it is in whole, right? And so there's a roundabout answer for you.
Well, speaking about the orchestra, do you see yourself in the future maybe playing a show with an orchestra?
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, as I do this and I get older, I start really feeling that I've always loved like folk music, right, and acoustic music, and I think that as I get older, that's starting to become more of a desire for me to do. And whether or not I actually end up doing that specifically, the kind of cleaner sounds and the more sparse sounds of like Ghost or Key or things like that are things that I think I find myself becoming increasingly more interested in. And as such, the orchestral things and the real heavy sort of epic sort of stuff that was on Addicted and Deconstruction, which is still a part of me, and we will be doing shows with that, but I think it'd be the one-off or here and there. But even hearing myself speak here, I have no idea what's going to happen, man. It's like I had no idea Deconstruction was going to be the way it was. I had no idea that Key was going to even happen. I had no idea that any of these things recently, I had no idea I'd be here, right? So I think that what I'll probably continue to do is just write and follow it where it leads. And if these opportunities come up that include orchestras or whatever, I mean, man, it'd be great. It would be great, right?
With myself,
speaking on continuing to write music, supposedly we're getting the second part of Ghost later this year.
Yeah, I'm still slowly working on that. I mean, I was wanting to put it out at the same time as the other two records, but label and management sort of thought that it was too much information to give to people, and it's hard enough to try and, you know, sell this stuff to people, so they kind of asked me to hold off on it. But as a result of that, it's allowed me to write a couple more songs for it and work on the artwork a little more with Travis, and it's a really cool record, man. I think on one of the packages that you can buy with this whole Deconstruction trip, there was like 5 songs you could download off of it, and those songs will be included, but I'll probably do a different mix of them and different mastering, and then, you know, but it's a cool record. But to be honest, I've got probably 30 some odd songs that I've got socked away, and if I had more than 2 days at a time at home, I could probably make those records within a few months.
You ever sleep?
Well, I try to. Yeah. Yeah, but that's apparently a skill that I'm not nearly as good at as I used to be.
Yeah.
I'm writing it off as age, but sleep is not one of my better skill sets, man.
What's the best and worst part about being Devin Townsend?
I actually never really thought of it in that sense. Well, I guess the best part about being me is I'm able to experience a lot of cool things, right? Like, I've got a lot of great people in my life, and I get to travel around, and I really like nature, so if I find a park every now and then, it makes me happy. But I think it's the people in my life, audience and family, that make my life great, right? And the worst part about being me, I mean, God, probably the worst part about being you guys too, you're stuck being you 100% of the time. And, it's interesting with press and interviews and making records. It's easy to put yourself across as being really whatever you want, right? But at the end of the day, I'm a 39-year-old dude, right? I mean, I've been married for years, and I definitely don't play metal because you are who you are, right? And being anybody, I think, is I can't think it's. If someone says, "Hey, man, you stoked to be you?" You'd be like, "Yeah, well, sure. What are the options, man?" Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, keep it short. Any final words to the fans?
Thanks for the support. Honestly, like I said a second ago, man, it's like the best things in my life are, other people, I think. And mountains. I like the mountains, too.
Very cool. Well, the best part about tonight is Devin Townsend has returned to Atlanta. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, buddy. Have a great night.
Deconstruction and Ghost is out right now. Go pick them up. Support this guy. Metal Mark for Skulls and Bones. Cheers.
Or download it.
Or download it.
It's a fucking